Hey everyone, just wanted to walk you through how to complete this assignment for plotting latitude and longitude of different dog breeds. So this is a Google Slides activity. There's two different slides. The first one is a table of information that you're going to need to complete. And the second one is a map with latitude and longitude lines marked across the map. And then 7 different dog breeds off to the side that you're going to have to place for where they were first bred. So back to the first slide. This first slide shows us the name of the dog, the country that it was first bred in, and then it gives us the latitude and longitude. So if we're looking at the Australian cattle dog here, we have that it was first bred in New South Wales, and its latitude and longitude is 31 degrees south, 146 degrees east. So then you would go to the map, and you would have to plot that. So 31 degrees south, and I might even add a speaker note here so I can help remember. 31 degrees south by, check, 146 degrees east. 146 degrees east. And then I have that information right in front of me down in this speaker note. So let's go ahead and plot it. Well, the first thing you might realize is that this is hard to see. It's really hard to make out the numbers for the lines of longitude up top or the lines of latitude on the left-hand side and right-hand side. So let's go ahead and zoom in. So Google Slides has a zoom feature. I'm going to click zoom and I'm going to go to 100%. If that's still too small for you to read, you can just zoom in a little bit more. The more you zoom in, the more scrolling you'll have to do. So I'm going to leave it set to 100%. And we're going to start with latitude. We need to find 31 degrees south. Well, here's 30 degrees south for a line of latitude, so it's going to be right next to that. And this is where there's a tool that makes this a lot easier. I'm going to click View, Guides, hover over Guides, and I'm going to click Add a Horizontal Guide. This can kind of act like a line of latitude marker, and it's really hard to see because it starts out as gray. So I'm going to right-click when I get to my guideline, and I get those up and down arrows, I'm going to right click, change color, and I'm going to make it red. So now that it's bright red, it's much easier to see. And I'm going to drag this so that it's right below 30 degrees south. So there's my line of longitude. Next, we need to do our line of, that's my line of latitude. Next, we're going to do our line of longitude. And to do this, we're going to do View, Guides, add a vertical guide. And again, once you find that vertical guide and you get the left and right arrow, right click, change color to red. And I need to set it to 146 degrees east. Pay close attention because this says west, 165 west, 150 west, 135 west. We're looking for 146 east. So when I scroll over here, there's 135 east, there's 150 east. It's going to be closer to 150 than 135, so maybe I'll set it right about there. It's about as close as I can get. And then if you remember the steps from our notes, you find where those two lines intersect, and that's my coordinate. So this is the Australian cattle dog. I'm going to click that picture once, and then I can use the arrow keys on my keyboard to move it so that the point on that pin is right over that intersecting point. If you need to change the size, make it a little bit smaller, you can. I have them set so that the word will look correctly for the breed of the dog, and that's step 1. Then you need to identify what continent this is on. So if you remember from the notes, this would be the continent of Australia. So you would go in and you would type Australia. Then you would look at the Brazilian Terrier. And the nice thing from here is once you have these guidelines in, you don't need to ever make new ones. You can always just move these guidelines to any new location. One last tip, none of these dogs were bred in oceans. So if you end up with your intersecting point in the middle of an ocean, maybe make sure you're doing latitude and longitude, or you have north and south or east and west correctly identified, because none of these dogs are going to be bred in the middle of the ocean. Once you've completed this activity, go back to Google Classroom and go ahead and press Turn In. But as always, if you have any questions, go ahead and reach out through that Google Meeting. Have a great rest of your day.